The ignored species. When the Galactic Council first encountered humanity, their reaction was one of casual indifference. Humans, they believed, were a species with little to offer, decent adaptability to environmental extremes, and an average power-to-weight ratio. Their most noteworthy feature was their rise from being non-apex predators to achieving sentience and spacefaring status. However, in the eyes of the Council, humans lacked honor, a trait highly valued among galactic species. The death of a human leader could spark a protracted war of succession, showcasing their unstable nature. The Traxi, one of the first galactic races to recognize humanity's potential weaknesses, saw an opportunity. They waited for the right moment to exploit these flaws and ignite a conflict that could engulf human civilization. That moment came 27 years after the humans were first acknowledged by the Council. The Traxi unleashed an all-consuming war against humanity, one that would turn into a bloodbath and nearly wipe out the human race. The initial weeks of the conflict were brutal. The sheer scale of violence and slaughter was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The images of the human suffering were haunting. No compassion, no honor, just cold, calculated extermination. Yet, despite the overwhelming odds, humanity's response was far from what anyone expected. Instead of succumbing to extinction, humans united in a way that defied all expectations. Long-standing animosities and hatred melted away as people from different factions came together, driven by a shared sense of survival. The once unstoppable Traxi advance ground to a halt. What was initially perceived as a fleeting resistance evolved into a fierce counterattack, forcing the Traxi to rethink their strategy. The turning tide. The Traxi, initially confident in their dominance, found themselves facing a relentless and resilient adversary. Despite their impressive advance, they were unable to push beyond a certain point. The humans, who had been on the brink of annihilation, began to push back with a tenacity that left the Traxi reeling. The Traxi media claimed that this resurgence was merely a strategic move intended to inflict heavy casualties on humanity. They argued that it was a calculated effort to exhaust human resources. But the truth was far more complex. Humans, driven by an insatiable will to survive, began to reclaim lost territories. Each time they did, they fortified their positions, turning the tide of the war. 8 months into the conflict, the Traxi had made a dangerous miscalculation. They had given humanity a common enemy, and it was fueling a fierce determination among the humans. The Traxi, initially seeing their advantage, found themselves bogged down by human resilience and strategic ingenuity. The Traxi's advance slowed, and they began to suffer significant setbacks. Humanity's strategy was simple yet effective. They dug in and prepared for the Traxi's counterattacks. When the Traxi came, they were met with unyielding defenses and relentless counteroffensives. This strategy, while seemingly insane to the galactic observers, proved to be incredibly effective. The Traxi were losing ground, and their once imposing empire was now struggling to maintain control. The unforeseen strategy. As the war continued, the Traxi realized that their initial underestimation of humanity had been a grave mistake. The humans, far from being the easy targets they had anticipated, were now turning the conflict into a brutal and protracted struggle. The Traxi forces were pushed back, and their once imposing military presence began to dwindle. The humans, on the other hand, were adapting to the ongoing conflict with remarkable ingenuity. They employed unconventional tactics that baffled their opponents. The Traxi, unable to comprehend the full extent of human resilience, were forced to re-evaluate their strategy. The humans' ability to turn their losses into strategic advantages was proving to be a significant challenge for the Traxi. 6 years into the conflict, the Galactic Council had come to a startling realization. The humans were not only fighting to regain their lost territories, but were also driven by a desire for vengeance. The Council had assumed that the humans would cease hostilities once their territories were reclaimed. However, the humans had other plans. They were intent on erasing the threat posed by the Traxi and seeking retribution for the bloodshed inflicted upon their people. The Traxi, now facing a fierce and relentless opponent, found themselves fighting not just for territory, but for their very existence. The conflict had escalated to unprecedented levels, and the Traxi were beginning to panic. The Council, alarmed by the growing scale of the war, called for an emergency peace talk between the humans and the Traxi. The peace talks. The peace talks, held between the human representatives and the Galactic Council, were fraught with tension. The Council was hopeful that a resolution could be reached, but the humans' intentions remained unclear. The discussions began with a cautious optimism, as both sides sought to find common ground and end the protracted conflict. The human delegation, led by their leader, surprised the Council with their calm and reasoned approach. They spoke with understanding and expressed a willingness to negotiate. However, they made it clear that they would not engage with the Traxi directly. This decision raised concerns among the Council members, but it was seen as a potential sign of progress. The negotiations reached a critical juncture when the Traxi demanded compensation for lands still held by human forces. The humans, initially silent, were given time to respond. When the response came, it was delivered with a mix of cold determination and unexpected audacity. The human leader, in a calm and calculated manner, addressed the Council. The response was a shocking revelation. Instead of accepting the terms for peace, the humans presented a new proposal. They had surrounded the Traxi homeworld with their fleet and were prepared to make a dramatic gesture. The unthinkable act. The human leader's proposal was nothing short of revolutionary. The Traxi, once confident in their position, were now facing an overwhelming threat. The human armada, which had been a mere speculative force until now, was unleashed with a devastating impact. The Traxi homeworld was surrounded, and within moments, the human fleet launched a full-scale assault. The destruction was swift and complete. The Traxi Empire, once a dominant force in the galaxy, was reduced to ashes. The sheer scale of the devastation left everyone in stunned silence. The human leader, with a chilling calmness, explained the rationale behind the action. The humans had lost billions in the conflict, and they believed that a trade of such magnitude was a fair compromise. The Council was in disarray. The destruction of the Traxi homeworld was a blow that would have far-reaching consequences. The human leader's proposal had transformed the conflict from a localized war into a galactic crisis. The Council's efforts to broker peace were now overshadowed by the enormity of the destruction and the unresolved issues surrounding the conflict. The member from Chennai, a representative of one of the Council races, expressed outrage at the human leader's decision. The humans' actions were seen as an unprecedented escalation, and the prospect of peace seemed further away than ever. The Galactic Council was left grappling with the aftermath of the conflict and the implications of humanity's actions. The aftermath. The aftermath of the conflict left the galaxy in a state of profound uncertainty. The destruction of the Traxi homeworld marked a turning point in the war, but it also raised questions about the future of intergalactic relations. The humans had demonstrated their capacity for both resilience and ruthlessness, leaving an indelible mark on the galaxy. The Council, now facing a shattered galaxy, struggled to come to terms with the new reality. The humans, having achieved a form of retribution, were now in a position of unprecedented strength. Their actions had altered the balance of power and set a new precedent for conflict resolution. The surviving Traxi, grappling with the loss of their homeworld, were left to rebuild and regroup. The once mighty empire was reduced to a fraction of its former self, and the path to recovery was fraught with challenges. The humans, having achieved their objectives, were faced with the task of navigating the complex aftermath of their actions. The Council, in its efforts to restore order, began to re-evaluate its approach to conflict and diplomacy. The events of the war had highlighted the need for a more nuanced understanding of the diverse species within the galaxy. The Council's response to the conflict would shape the future of intergalactic relations and influence the course of history. As the galaxy moved into a new era, the impact of the human-Traxi conflict continued to resonate. The war had reshaped the galactic landscape and introduced a new level of complexity to interstellar relations. The humans, having demonstrated their formidable capabilities, were now a force to be reckoned with. The Council's approach to diplomacy and conflict resolution underwent a transformation. The lessons learned from the conflict underscored the importance of understanding and respecting the diverse cultures and motivations of different species. The new era brought with it a renewed focus on cooperation and dialogue as the galaxy sought to prevent future conflicts. Humanity, having emerged from the war with a newfound sense of purpose, began to play a more prominent role in galactic affairs. Their actions had not only reshaped the balance of power, but also set a precedent for how conflicts might be approached in the future. The legacy of the human-Traxi War would continue to influence the course of galactic history for generations to come. The story of the conflict, with its themes of resilience, determination, and the unpredictable nature of human ingenuity, became a defining chapter in the galaxy's history. The galaxy, forever changed by the events, looked towards a future shaped by the lessons learned from the tumultuous past. The rebuilding phase. In the wake of the conflict, the galaxy found itself grappling with the enormous task of rebuilding. The destruction wrought by the war had left many civilizations in ruins, and the Council's efforts to restore stability were met with mixed results. The human victory, while decisive, had come at a significant cost to the galaxy's balance. Humanity, having secured a dominant position, faced its own set of challenges. The once unified human front began to show signs of fragmentation as different factions vie for control and influence. The Council, recognizing the importance of human integration, sought to engage with human leaders in a bid to foster cooperation and stability. During this period, humans were introduced to a new concept, intergalactic governance. The Council proposed a reform structure that would allow for greater representation from various species, including humans. This initiative aimed to ensure that the galaxy's diverse interests were adequately addressed and to prevent future conflicts from escalating into full-scale wars. Humanity's response to the proposal was cautious but hopeful. The Council's willingness to incorporate human perspectives was seen as a positive step towards building a more inclusive and balanced galactic community. As the rebuilding phase progressed, human representatives began to play an increasingly prominent role in shaping the new governance structures. The process was far from smooth. Tensions remained high as different factions within the human and galactic communities navigated the complexities of the new system. Negotiations were often contentious, with deep-seated mistrust and historical grievances influencing interactions. Despite these challenges, the commitment to peace and cooperation remained strong. The Galactic Accord. After years of negotiation and adjustment, the Galactic Accord was signed. This historic agreement marked a new era of interspecies cooperation and governance. The Accord established a framework for peaceful coexistence and collaborative decision-making among the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. The Accord introduced several key provisions aimed at promoting stability and preventing future conflicts. It emphasized the importance of mutual respect and understanding, and it provided mechanisms for resolving disputes through diplomacy rather than warfare. The agreement also included measures to address the socio-economic disparities that had been exacerbated by the war. Humanity's role in the Accord was significant. Their unique experiences and perspectives contributed to shaping the terms of the agreement. The Accord acknowledged the contributions of human resilience and ingenuity in overcoming the Traxi threat and emphasized the value of incorporating these qualities into the new governance structures. The signing of the Galactic Accord was a momentous event. It symbolized the collective commitment of the galaxy's inhabitants to build a better future. The Accord's success depended on the continued dedication of all parties to uphold its principles and work towards a harmonious coexistence. The legacy of the war. The legacy of the human-Traxi conflict became a defining element of galactic history. The war's impact was felt across multiple dimensions: political, social, and cultural. The conflict had revealed the strengths and weaknesses of different species, and it had underscored the need for a more nuanced approach to interstellar relations. For humanity, the war was a profound and transformative experience. The struggle for survival and the subsequent victory had forged a strong sense of identity and purpose. Humans emerged from the conflict with a renewed commitment to exploring the galaxy and contributing to its advancement. The Galactic Accord, with its emphasis on cooperation and understanding, became a testament to the lessons learned from the war. The agreement served as a reminder of the importance of dialogue and diplomacy in resolving conflicts. It also highlighted the value of diverse perspectives in shaping a more equitable and harmonious galactic community. The impact of the conflict was not limited to the immediate aftermath. It influenced the way future generations approached diplomacy, conflict resolution, and interspecies interactions. The story of humanity's resilience and determination became a source of inspiration and a guiding principle for navigating the complexities of galactic life. Humanity's new role. As the galaxy moved forward, humanity's role continued to evolve. The lessons learned from the war and the subsequent formation of the Galactic Accord positioned humans as key players in the ongoing efforts to maintain peace and promote cooperation. Human representatives were actively involved in various diplomatic initiatives, trade negotiations, and scientific collaborations. Their contributions were instrumental in fostering a sense of unity and purpose among the galaxy's diverse species. The once marginalized humans had become influential contributors to the galaxy's progress. The spirit of exploration and innovation, which had driven humanity to survive the war, continued to shape their role in the galaxy. Human-led expeditions ventured into uncharted territories, seeking new opportunities and forging connections with previously unknown species. The pursuit of knowledge and discovery remained a central aspect of human endeavors. A new dawn. The new era heralded by the Galactic Accord marked a period of optimism and renewal. The scars of the past were gradually healed as the galaxy worked towards a brighter future. The collaborative spirit fostered by the Accord created a sense of shared purpose and mutual respect. Humanity, having demonstrated its strength and resilience, became a beacon of hope and progress. The story of the human-Traxi conflict, with its dramatic twists and triumphs, became a powerful symbol of what could be achieved through determination and unity. As the galaxy looked towards the horizon, the legacy of the war and the achievements of the Galactic Accord served as a foundation for a more harmonious and prosperous future. The galaxy, forever changed by the events of the past, embraced a new chapter marked by collaboration, understanding, and the shared pursuit of greatness.